All right, and now we move to a fight in the UFC's bantamweight division between Mr. Knockout, everybody's favorite, Mini Masvidal, Adrian Yanez. He comes into this fight with a record of 15 victories and 3 defeats, and he is going up against the durable, I guess the best way you could describe him is just a dog of a competitor in prime time, Tony Kelly, who holds a record of 8 victories and 2 defeats. This is a really, really solid fight, a really, really high level fight, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people are completely writing off Tony Kelly because they just see the hype, the knockouts that Adrian Yanez is able to, showcase in the UFC, his crisp striking, his crisp counter ability. And they're just kind of looking at Tony Kelly and being like, another knockout for Adrian Yanez, another knockout for Adrian Yanez. And I do see where you're coming from. Like, the dude has a lot of wins. He's 5-0, I believe, in the UFC. He might be 4-0, but I'll pull it up really quick and we can check. So he is 4-0 in the UFC. He's got 3 knockouts and 1 decision, a split decision over Davy Grant. I still think he won that fight against Davy Grant, but it definitely was close. And Grant's one of the toughest veterans in that 135-pound division. So that's definitely a good win for Adrian Yanez there. And then, I think that just people are writing off Tony Kelly because of the knockouts that Adrian Yanez has, because he is 4-0 in the UFC. 5-0 if you count the Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, but that's not technically an official fight, so you can't count that. But 15-3 for Yanez, 9 KOs, 2 submissions, 4 decisions. And then on the Tony Kelly side, he is 12-2, I believe. Let's see. 8-2. Man, I'm just all over the place today. 8-2 for Tony Primetime Kelly. 3 KOs, 3 submissions, and 2 decisions. Pretty evenly spread across the board. He's coming off a second-round TKO over Randy Costa and a unanimous decision over Ali Al-Kwasi in October of 2020. And then the fight over Randy Costa was December 2021. So he's coming back after about 6 months on the shelf. But prior to that fight in December, he was gone for over a year. So this isn't a big layoff for Tony Kelly. Prior to that, it was a decision loss to Kai Kamaka III at UFC 252. He lost that fight, and that's one of the best fights I've ever seen. If you haven't watched that fight, go back and watch Kai Kamaka III versus Tony Primetime Kelly from UFC 252. A barn burner, a back-and-forth barn burner. Kamaka took over later in the fight, but it was definitely close. I think that should have been a split decision, in my opinion. But, Tony Kelly's a gamer, man. Tony Kelly is really, really solid on the feet. He's got good footwork, good in-and-out movement. He switches stances from orthodox to southpaw, whether it's him stepping into orthodox, throwing a straight left, switching southpaw into the right hook, stepping back, jab, right low kick, jab, right body kick, 1-2, right hook, left body kick, jab from southpaw, left body kick, left front kick to the body. He's constantly switching angles, constantly changing stances, but he's also constantly in your face, putting the pressure on you and trying to drain you the longer the fight goes. He does get a little bit tired, in the second and in the third, but Kelly's a gamer, man. He was down in the first round against Kai Kamaka. He came out in that second and in that third, and right out the gate, just got in the face of Kamaka, landed a right hand, landed a straight left, got in the clinch, landed knees to the body. The most dangerous area for Adrian Yanez in this fight against Tony Kelly is going to be the kicking game, the body kicks and the high kicks and the inside and outside low kicks of Kelly, and the work from inside the clinch, getting that single collar, getting the tie plum, working the knees to the body, working the knees to the head, working the elbows. You saw him use it against Kamaka, and he sucked the life out of him in that third and later on in the second. And you saw him do it also in the fight where he got that TKO in the second round over Randy Costa. I mean, the guy's got brutal power in his knees and in his elbows. I think we're going to see some of this fight taking place along the cage, and that's where Kelly's going to look to get in that tie plum, land the knees to the body, land the elbows, land the knees to the head. I think we're going to see Kelly look to dirty it up and make it a dirty fight. Now with Yanez, his boxing is some of the cleanest and crispest and fastest hands you'll ever see in the UFC. The counter ability he showcased against It wasn't Gustavo Lopez. Who was it? I don't want to get this wrong. Let's see. Uh, it was Gustavo Lopez. Okay, I was right. Even when I thought I was wrong, I was right. Against Gustavo Lopez, where he timed him stepping in off that switch stance combination, and boom, just countered him with a right hand, right on the chin, dropped him, knocked him out. The high kick against Brady Wang from Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, where he landed the combinations, boom, 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 framed off, boom, left switch high kick, landed on his chin, knocked him out. I believe the Victor Rodriguez fight, I believe, was also a high kick. I might be thinking of the Victor Rodriguez fight. Yeah, okay, so the punches were on the Tuesday Night Contender Series, but the head kick was against Victor Rodriguez, that combination I just broke down for you. Yeah, and he fought Randy Costa as well. So there is a little bit of a comparison between both of these guys. They both got finishes over Randy Costa. He defeated Randy Costa via a second round TKO, right? Yeah, second round TKO, 2 minutes, 11 seconds in. And then you look at Tony Kelly. When he defeated Randy Costa, it was 4 minutes and 15 seconds. So both got second round TKOs. I honestly think that the Yanez one is a little bit more. I think that's a little bit more impressive because he did go through a lot of adversity. But the one thing I took from that Tony Kelly, Randy Costa, Adrian Yanez set of fights is that Yanez was having a lot of trouble with the kicking game of Costa, the high kicks, the shots to the body, the question mark kicks, the switching stances into the left high kicks, the 1-2, the high kick behind it. The kicking game of Costa was giving Yanez a lot of trouble, and the jab of Costa was giving Yanez a lot of trouble until he started to get the timing and jab with Costa. He was jabbing for jab, jabbing for jab, jabbing for jab. Once he got him behind the jab, he knew that Costa wasn't going to be comfortable enough to throw his jab as much as he was before, which in turn would affect the ability he had to put together combinations. And that's when he was able to kind of walk him down, land the combinations, boom, rip the shots to the body. 1-2, hook to the body, 3-2 up top, 1-2, 3, 1-2, boom, drops Costa, jumps on him, and gets the TKO. You know, I think that Yanez is definitely going to have the boxing advantage here. I think that Tony Kelly is going to have the kicking advantage. If Kelly can use that constant stance switching, those constant stance switches, land the left kicks to the body, land the right outside low kicks, get Yanez up against the cage, land the knees to the body, land the elbows. I think Tony Kelly can make this a very, very interesting and close fight. I do not think that Tony Kelly should be heavily underestimated here. I think that Tony Kelly is durable enough to last the full 15 minutes because he has not been knocked out or submitted in his career. The only 2 losses he has so far have come by way of decision. I do think if anybody can put him out, it would probably be Yanez with his counter ability, the slickness and quickness in his hands, and just the ability to counter on a dime. You know, I do think that he does have the potential to do it, but I don't think he's going to do it in this fight. I think we're going to see a little bit more of a patient and measured Adrian Yanez here. I think he's going to use that jab from the beginning of the fight. I think he's going to look to use a lot of fakes and feints, pop the jab, fake it, jab, left hook, fake the jab, jab, 1-2, jab, fake, right to the body, 1-2, 3, 1-2, hook to the body, cross, hook to the body. I think we're going to see a little bit more patient, measured version of a Yanez. I think he's going to use that front kick to the body. He's got a very good teep to the body. But I do think Kelly's going to give him some trouble. I think Kelly's going to land some elbows up against the cage in the clinch, work with those knees to the body, elbows, uppercuts, you know, just work him the longer the fight goes. I mean, the guy's not going to quit on himself. That's something you definitely know about prime time. But when it comes to the prediction, I think that Yanez is going to land the bigger shots throughout 15 minutes. I think he's going to put together more combinations. I think the damage is going to be all over the face of Tony Kelly, but I do think Kelly's going to survive. I think Kelly's going to make it a very interesting, a very dangerous fight, and it's going to be one of the best fights of the night. I wouldn't be surprised if we get an upset on the side of Tony Kelly here. I would not be surprised if Tony Kelly got a split decision against Yanez because he was able to turn it on in the late second and in the third round. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. I think the line here is a little bit inflated, but I understand the reasons why because of the hype and knockout ability that Adrian Yanez has had and the hype that he generates. it doesn't surprise me. But a minus 280 is too heavy for Adrian Yanez here. I think it should be sitting at minus 190 to a plus 170 for Tony Kelly. I think that's a way better line. I think this line is heavily inflated and a little bit ridiculous. Like I said, if you want to take a shot at the dog, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at you for throwing a plus 235 on Tony Kelly. Him to win by decision is probably like a plus 700. So if you want to take the stab at it, I definitely wouldn't be mad at you. But I do think Yanez is going to pull it out. He's got the cleaner shots with the boxing. Kelly's got the cleaner shots with the kicking game and the clinch work. But I think that the damage, the combinations he puts together, and the ability to land the crisper, cleaner shots over 15 minutes will carry Adrian Yanez to a decision against Tony Kelly. So my pick is Mr. Knockout Adrian Yanez to defeat Tony Kelly via 29-28 split decision.